everybody. Today I had the privilege of facilitating, being on a panel with Dr. Jackie, just talking about hope, when seasons change and feel heavy. And how do you just walk in that hope? How do you walk in your healing? So check it out if you didn't see it this morning. But it encouraged me to hop on here and to talk about gentleness today. So being gentle with ourselves, being gentle with others, during our healing journey. A lot of you were gentle with us, when we lost our fur baby Zeus. It's been a little over a week now. I appreciate all the calls, all the reach outs. So thank you so much for that. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Lena Lassiter. I'm the founder of Forever Healed. We are a nonprofit, and what we do is we help those who are suffering from a loss of any kind. We help them to restore, we help them to reclaim, we help them to recover. And how do we do that? We offer one-to-one, we offer group classes on grief and loss and healing. We also go into corporate America and we talk about the hidden costs of grief in the workplace. We also do grief and empathy training in corporate America. We also serve our veterans proudly. We serve homicide survivors. We serve those with substance use disorder. And more recently, we have been mentoring young girls. So it's been an honor and it's a humbling experience to use our gifts in this way. But tonight, I wanted to talk to you, or today, because this is a recording, to talk to you about gentleness. Because when we lost our fur baby, gentleness came into my spirit, right? I just kept hearing, be gentle, be gentle, be gentle. So for those of you who know me, I started looking it up. I started looking it up in the scriptures, and it's an attribute of God, right? He's a gentle God. So after losing our fur baby, a leader who I don't even report directly to sent me like an instant message through work, and she said, I woke up and I just kept hearing gentle, be gentle. Y'all know I almost fell out my chair. So she talked about how she was going to be gentle with me that week, right after losing my fur baby, and she expressed how, they can be like children, and she asked if I needed anything. Woo. So typically, when we lose pets, we can go through disenfranchised grief because people look at it like, right, well, they were just a pet. But to have someone that you work with in a leadership role to look at that and say, I'm going to be gentle with you and let me know if you need anything, whew, it just confirmed in my spirit, number one, right? Just being gentle, but it caused me to write. So for a long time, I've just been sitting still and I have been writing. So y'all know I'm coming back, y'all. And I have a lot of things to pour out. I've just been sitting still, I've been listening, and I've been writing. So I want to get right to it though. I want to talk through gentleness. So gentleness is it's strength, right? It's strength under control. It's not avoidance. It's not denial or being passive. It is choosing compassion over criticism, especially with yourself. So be gentle with yourself. Why? Because grief can change us. It softens some places and it can harden others if we are being honest. And often in grief, we become hardest on ourselves. Oh my gosh, we can be really hard on ourselves. So I want to remind you that healing does not come through force, it comes through gentleness. So healing does not come through force. Put it in a chat. It comes through gentleness. So be gentle with yourself, right? So God doesn't rush the brokenhearted. He draws them close. So I cringe every time I hear someone say, if you're a believer, you gotta push through that. You gotta get over that. Yes, we have to grow through the pain. We have to go through the process. But God says He draws nigh near to those who are brokenhearted. It's in the word, y'all. So Psalms 34:18, for those of you who need the scripture, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and He saves those who are crushed in spirit. So again, he draws close. God does not rush the brokenhearted. He draws close. So grief has no timeline, right? So tears are not a lack of faith. Rest is not quitting. Needing help is not weakness. So here's a scripture for that. Come to me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. So Jesus even describes himself as gentle towards the weary. So grief can make us short tempered, withdrawn, and easily offended. Gentleness does not mean ignoring boundaries, it means responding without cruelty. Gentleness does not mean ignoring boundaries, it means responding without cruelty. So it's okay for us to continue to have our boundaries, to teach people how to treat us, but we don't have to respond in a cruel manner, right? We need to be humble. We need to be gentle. We need to be patient, and we need to bear with one another in love. So grief does not excuse harm, but it does call for understanding. It does call for understanding. So Jesus wept with Mary and Martha before he worked the miracle. He restored Peter gently after Peter betrayed him. And also, Jesus heals without shaming. So, okay, Reverend Lena, all right, that was Jesus. So, what about me? So, here are some practical tips for you. So speak to yourself the way that you would speak to a grieving child. How would you speak to a grieving child? You would do it lovingly, you would do it gently, you would be kind, you would even you stoop down to their level, right, to make sure that you were eye to eye so that you didn't create yourself bigger than them, right? So I want you to speak to yourself the same way you would speak to a grieving child. And then pause before reacting. So pause before you react, right? Because even losing our little Zeus, and look, I have his little blanket here because y'all know I always say, like, how do you honor, right? Um, what or who you lost. So I have his little blanket. I keep his little blanket. So I had to pause before even reacting to some responses that came to us. Are you gonna get another dog? You know, are you feeling better now? Yep, just stay busy and then you won't think about it. Well, you know what? I want to think about him. I want to remember him. And even if I got another dog, because again, we're taught how to replace, guess what? They're not going to be Zeus. It's not going to have his character and his little personality. So, but I had to be gentle, right? I had to pause before reacting and just respond in love. So lower your voice internally and externally and allow emotions without judgment. Why am I feeling this way? God, why am I crying again? Why am I, just allow yourself to feel without criticizing yourself and without judging. And then choose rest without apology. So it's okay to change your mind. If you decided that you were going to do something, if you were going to have an event, go to an event, it's okay. It's okay to rest. And it's okay for us to do that without apology. So we are going to be gentle with ourselves. We are going to be gentle with others. And even with being gentle with others, remember it's okay to have your boundaries. So speak to yourself the way you would a grieving child, and then also pause before reacting to unhelpful or hurtful comments that others may say. Again, they mean well, right? They weren't taught what to say, but you guys know better. Those of you who have been following us and supporting us over the years. So my prayer is that God will teach us to be gentle, 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 with hearts that are tender, and lives that have been shaken. So teach us to be gentle with hearts that are tender and lives that have been shaken. Heal, God, what is bruised and restore what feels broken. So let your gentleness lead us forward. Let your gentleness lead everybody forward who is watching this video. So that gentleness just did something to me. So I wanted to share with all of you, be gentle with yourselves, be gentle with others during your healing process. And if there's someone who just need a little love, a little gentleness, make sure that you share this video with them. Again, I'm going to be, sharing videos, popping on, here and there, just sharing some things that have been downloaded. And to me, it's going to be a blessing. I promise you, it is. It's going to be a blessing. So stay tuned. And again, make sure that you like and you share this video with others. Stay encouraged. Um, Much love, Reverend Lena and the Forever Heal team. We will see you soon. Goodbye.